Kilimanjaro with 3 artificial joints. Got your attention? And he was 70. So if you're feeling a little tired after your early morning swim or your HIIT session today, this could potentially give you a new perspective. Even better, he did it with adult kids. If you're a parent, you know what that would mean. If you have parents, especially if they're gone, you may know what it would be like to have a memory like that with them. What kind of life lessons are tucked into experiences like this that, as health coaches and trainers, we ourselves have? Maybe you pursue marathons or triathlons, or maybe you like bodybuilding. Is it for you or ego, or is it something to create a life for later that you love? Is it to put something in your life that is more meaningful or to escape reality of today? There's so many reasons to add a reach experience to your life, and none of them wrong. Perhaps the only wrong is not knowing why you want it or why you do it. I hope you enjoy this short Q&A, and we're going to send you over for the full episode. But first, I'm Deborah Atkinson. You're listening to She Means Fitness Business, a division of Voice for Fitness. And at Voice for Fitness, we believe that you want to be an inspirational example to midlife women. But in order to do that, you need a profitable health and fitness coaching business. And the problem is a lack of clients or money, which makes you feel uncertain about whether you can actually succeed. We believe you deserve consistent, dependable revenue from clients you love. And I understand exactly how it feels to be in your shoes because I have been there not so very long ago, which is why I now train fitness pros internationally. Here's how I do it. Number 1, we get you more clients. Number 2, we make more profit from each and every client. And then we celebrate your growth and create you freedom. The biggest mistake many trainers make is painting themselves into a corner, giving away every hour for $1, which means that they aren't working, they aren't making money. And we could change that. You can book a call. In the meantime, get your copy of the Health and Fitness Professionals Scorecard so you can do a little business audit and know exactly where you need to dive in. You can stop feeling like your dream's slipping away, whether they're less qualified and less heart-centered coaches make sales and get more clients, and instead, you can easily increase your revenue by at least $5,000 a month in the first 90 days. My guest today is Dr. Irv Rubinstein. He's an exercise physiologist and personal trainer, and he is president of Steps Fitness. It's Nashville's first personal training center. He's been an educator for fitness professionals with Exercise, etc., a contributor to online articles on fitness myths, functional training, proper exercise technique, and has also contributed to books and articles for and about personal training. He was a founding member of the Eating Disorders Coalition of Tennessee and served on its executive and education committees. Dr. Irv is presented nationally and regionally on exercise, anorexia, arthritis, exercise and weight management, and several other exercise-related topics. He's currently an advisory board member for the MedFit Network, has provided webinars for MedFit Education Foundation, and is co-author of that agency's orthopedic fitness specialist course. So let's dive into this episode. You're going to love it. And as I say, we're going to send you over to the full episode. But I think that you're going to learn a lot, just a takeaway of how to enrich your personal life as a trainer, as a health coach, with an extraordinary kind of an adventure. Dr. Irv Rubinstein, thank you so much for joining me. And you didn't know, but we're double dipping today. So I'm going to actually have you give us a behind the scenes green room Q&A here. Your adventure. We're going to talk all about it and send everybody over to listen to the full episode about that at flipping50.com/Kilimanjaro if you just can't wait, by the way, listeners. But I would love to, there's got to be some rich nuggets here for you as an experienced fitness professional and trainer and gym owner what do you think this did as you did it in terms of confidence, training your brain maybe to become a better leader or legacy? Do you think it's related at all to what you do and who you do it for?
Yes, I do. I think by and I've done this with all my surgeries, by the way. I've tried to lay out an example for the clients and the trainers to realize that a joint injury, because I've only had joint surgeries, fortunately nothing cardiovascular or cerebral yet, but that that a joint injury and its recovery will entail a little bit of pain, a little bit of temporary disability, but doesn't mean you are disabled for the rest of your life.
Mm.
And that the sooner you get back to your world, whatever it is, in my case, it's back into the gym, the sooner you get back into doing things, the faster and healthier your recovery will be. So, in my preparation for climbing Kilimanjaro, and if you listen to the podcast about that, you know that in 2018, I had my second hip replacement, and 2 months later, my friend invited me to climb Kilimanjaro in August. So uh, it's like you test yourself every day in the gym. You test yourself really every day in life, but some people don't see it as a self test. They think they're being tested by the world. I perceive it the other way. You're testing yourself to see if you can make it through whatever your experience is, whether it's raising children, running a business, being a trainer, or being trained as a client. Uh, you're testing yourself to see if you can make it as best as possible within the confines of your ability. And I find that fitness training affords me the opportunity to push myself, and as I've gotten older, with a little wisdom, but not over the edge. When I was younger, it was just push myself right over the edge. That I thought was invincible. But now I'm 70 and I realize you can push yourself, but you got to give yourself more recovery time. And that's the wisdom that I developed here in this preparation for Kilimanjaro.
So what does a guy do after Kilimanjaro?
uh, well, I guess because I really haven't changed that much. When I was preparing for Kilimanjaro, I live about 15 minutes away from a city park. I would leave work at 7 p.m. at nighttime when the darkness came upon us. But I would go to another hour and a half hike, or I'd stay in the gym till 9:30 and do another hour and a half of cardio. I'm not doing that. I'm doing cardio, I'm doing training, I'm doing all the same strength training, uh, but I'm just not beating myself up. But I'm keeping myself at a level that if somebody calls up and says, "Irv, let's go do this," maybe I'd be foolish enough to say, "Okay," and then I can ramp up.
Very cool. Very cool. So are you actively thinking, what is my next conquest? Do I want to do something else that's a growth, like a reach for me?
Well, I don't think I'll ever. I mean, tease the kids because they're obviously younger than me. I said, you know, there's no way when you have grandchildren that I'm going to climb Kilimanjaro with them. Because if they all dropped the baby the next day, I'd be 86 before the kids would be old enough to do it. So it's not an option. So my considerations are more like uh, those road trips, or hiking trips, or biking trips where you go through a foreign country or even the United States, but different terrain, and where it's helpful to be in shape, but you don't have to. At least I wouldn't have to train to do it because it wouldn't be nearly as demanding physically as Kilimanjaro was. But I have no desire to like climb Mount Rainier. Although one of my friends is doing that, I might rethink that. We'll see.
Yet to be continued. Okay. I what about this? Wondering about when you're reaching for something so big, did it Did it ever feel like there might be a degree of separation between you and your clients versus drawing them closer to you?
No, no, my clients who've been with me a long time, and I have some who've been with me for 33 years, so they know the guy, they know the ego and stuff like that, and really, they only wanted the best for me. But again, I communicated enough about my desire to accomplish this with my children that
Mm.
they really some of them just wanted me to have the experience of being with my kids in this manner. So I really didn't have that. But every so often, as part of my training, I did a lot of wall squats. You asked in the previous interview about mentally challenging things. Wall squats are challenging. And with clients, because I have mostly older clients, a lot of them can't squat deep, but they can wall squat. And they always said, Irv, I'm not doing Kilimanjaro. We don't have to stay here forever. So, so they didn't like that I was training for this, but it did make for humorous times.
So great. I love that. Have you ever been in an experience where you actually trained some of your clients or even a single client for some kind of a breach or bucket list?
Mhm.
Yeah?
Yeah, mostly people from Nashville who would go skiing. Although I do have a woman my age who is not in great shape, but she's going to be doing the El Camino in Spain.
Oh, yeah.
And she came to me about 5 months ago and asked for my sort of guidance. She's training on her own, but I give her homework to do, and then she comes back on a monthly basis. So I've done work with clients who have those types of goals. I've had a couple elite athletes recovering from injury that have used my services, and that's always been kind of a pleasure, because there are people who are willing to work. A lot of folks come to us professionals, and they want fitness, they want tone, they want strength, they want functional ability, but it's a diffuse goal. It's not something that says, by this date, I want to be able to do this. And having clients like that is exhilarating.
Very cool. Just one last question. Do you feel like this it gave you a greater capacity for leadership because it stretched you in a way that I think I think a lot of our clients are intimidated simply to come into a gym potentially or even to put their hand up and say, I actually do need help. I can't do this by myself. And you kind of put yourself in that situation.
Well, I did, and I had to train myself. So I was very much like a client, confronting a new fitness related or physical related endeavor. Um, I don't know, Deborah, that it enhanced my leadership skills, uh, but I think what it did was gave me insight into what people are experiencing who don't have our yours and my level of fitness or passion for fitness. Because for them, coming to the gym might be climbing a mountain. And, you know, as easy as it came to me to put myself in that position, I, I'm not going to say I became more empathetic because it sounds like I wasn't empathetic, but I'm more understanding now of the challenges that many people face when they come into a gym and start a fitness program.
Well, I thank you for coming over here and doing this double dipping. We're going to send all the listeners over to flipping50.com/Kilimanjaro. You can listen with delight to all the conversation that Irv and I had over there as we talked about his why he did it, how it went, and never forget anybody. He's got 3 artificial joints. So this is a great story, even though it's not your story, a great story and a great example to share with other people to, I think, raise all of our glass ceilings about, what's ahead for us and it's probably richer than we think. So if you have a question, you wish I would have asked it, or you just want to shout out to Irv and let us know you appreciated this, you can do that at fitnessmarketingmastery.com/Kilimanjaro. And what are you waiting for? The world needs us right now more than ever.